everybody, welcome. We're in Washington, D.C. and using my phone as a GPS to get us to the Air and Space Museum, Smithsonian Museum. That's what we're doing this morning. So we're going to take y'all along. Hope y'all enjoy the ride with us. It was fun getting here. It took us over 2 hours from the place we stay at. And yeah, now we're walking and man, there's some beautiful buildings up here, but let's go to that Air and Space Museum. So we're in the Air and Space Museum, and man, there's some cool stuff in here. It's just cool. I mean, we start at the top floor. That's kind of something we learned. We'll start at the top and work your way down, because everybody come in. There's probably 200 or 300 people ahead of us, and they're all on the bottom floor. We come up here to the top, and there's not many people up here. So I want to show you this globe over here real quick. I'm not going to show you a lot in here just because, I don't know, it's kind of weird filming in here, but I want to show you this. Check out this big old globe right here. The kids behind us are excited. Not my kids, somebody else's kids. It's a big old globe, and it's actual a sphere, and it's showing weather patterns and everything. Look at that. The weather patterns are moving. You can see the clouds. You can see the transition from day to night. Man, that is so cool. There's Star Wars X-Wing fighter. We're just moseying around in here. We just was in the One World Connected section, and how they talk about satellites and stuff. Look at that U.S. Air Mail. American Airways U.S. Mail. It's a Ford tri-motor. Got 3 Ford motors on that thing. This is really cool, y'all. I'm not gonna film all of this because it's so big, but I'll show you the cool stuff that's out here. All right, y'all, we're downstairs. Upstairs was the Air and Space. Downstairs is all airplanes. So we kind of went backwards, but we had less crowd upstairs earlier when we first opened. All right, everybody, I do have to show this off. Now, this right here is a something that actually worked. It was a airplane that you could take apart, and you could drive this thing down the road. And then when you got done driving, you could take it back home and hook it up to the rest of the airplane and take it off and fly it. And actually, they actually did this. So the man that came up with this was a Mr. Fulton, and he logged over 100,000 hours on the road and in the air. But this is how it worked. That was hilarious. The Wright brothers airplane. We're trying to figure out if it's the actual one or if it's a replica. We'll figure it out and let you know. Nama, what's your thoughts? You think it's it?
No.
You don't think it's it? Alright, so me and Jacob's trying to figure out these two motors. You got the radial engine and the rotary engine. And this is what they do.
So they were always looking for a very lightweight engine.
Staring contest. So this right here is the actual airplane, the 1903 Wright Brothers airplane. This is not a replica. This is the one. Well, according to what they say over there. But the only thing that has been replaced on it is the fabric. They replaced it in 1985. That's why it's so white. That was a lot of fun. But now we're going to go find this. Jacob wants a soft pretzel, so we're gonna get that. They got a bunch of food trucks right here. Bunch of food trucks. They're lined up all the way down right here in front of the Air and Space Museum. So we're gonna get us a soft pretzel, or he get him one. I don't want one. And then coffee. It sounds like it needs to be a. We need to get a coffee and go find us somewhere to sit down. And we're gonna do one more museum. We don't know what it is yet. We're gonna do that afterward, and then we're gonna do some other activities this evening. So that was fun. I didn't want to film much in there though. Just funner just to see it. If you want to see it, come see it for yourself. What'd you get?
The jumbo salt pretzel. Salt.
He got that jumbo salt pretzel. He wanted one earlier, but we got 8 sandwiches earlier.
What an ice cream truck sounds like.
Anyway, so here we go. We're going kind of the main area, back over here to the National Mall area. We're going to kind of try to find a place to sit, hopefully. There is a lot of people up here. Thankfully, there's a lot of ground that we can spread out. We are at the Museum of the Bible, and we're going to hit this. We had some coffee just now. Now we're going to hit the Museum of the Bible, and then we'll finish our day out. We'll go walk by the Washington Monument, probably the Lincoln Memorial, and head back to our car. But it's almost 3 o'clock now, so it's been a couple hours in here. They close at 5, so it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I've heard there's some really cool relics, Bible relics and stuff like that in here, so let's go see it. I don't know how much I can film in here, so if I can't film anything, you'll see pictures, I'm sure. But if I film, I'll film specific pieces. At this very moment, hundreds of millions of people all around the world have virtual access to the Bible. There's some interesting facts here about Shakespeare. You can pause that if you want to read it. Here's Elvis Presley's Bible. And guess what? It's King James. He did say this quote right here. I believe in the Bible. I believe that all good things come from God. I don't believe I'd sing the way I do if God hadn't wanted me to. I'll let you read the rest of it. This is very interesting because it is true. Architecture today. Humankind has 2 books, 2 registers, 2 testaments, architecture and printing. The Bible of stone and the Bible of paper. The Bible's influence on architecture can be seen in synagogues and churches around the world. But yeah, even the government buildings here in Washington, D.C. has the Bible on them. Martyrs in the Bible, dying for the faith. Yeah, banning and burning Bibles. Executions during the Spanish Inquisition.
Right here we have a platen which was used, and it was designed where it doesn't twist with the corkscrew, as you can see, and it applies a lot of pressure with not a lot of force, and evenly. So that is the first thing that he really revolutionized. The second was the actual type that was used. He used metal movable type, which I have a couple right here. Like I said, printing had already been invented at this time about 1,000 years before in Korea and China, but at the time they were using wood block carving. So they would carve an entire page into a wooden block and then use that to make a stamp. Some people were already using individual pieces, but again made out of wood. However, Gutenberg decided to make metal casting. That way they're a lot more durable. You can make more in a shorter amount of time, and like I said, they lasted a lot longer. And so actually making the page took around 3 to 7 hours, because does anyone take a guess on how many individual pieces are used to make one page? This is including spaces and punctuations. So if you want to take a wild guess.
240.
240 to 240? A little bit higher than that. Actually quite a bit higher than that. Anyone?
1,700.
Pretty close. So around 2,500 pieces could be used, give or take, to create just one single page. So that process took a couple of hours, 3 to 7 hours to just make one page, because they had to be put in backwards. Obviously, it had to be proofread because we are making a stamp, and we're doing it in Latin. Like I said, we're in Germany, but the Bible at this time was printed in Latin. So, pretty tough job. I'm glad that's not my job. I only do printing. So the next thing that is he really revolutionized, besides the type and the print itself, or the printing press itself, was the ink. At this time, the only way to copy a book, to make a Bible, is to handwrite it. And they were using quill pens, which used a water-based, really flowy ink. So you can imagine if I tried to put that ink down on these movable type, it would just flow off. It would smear. The page would not print a very good page. So he used a different type of ink that was based off of oil paint recipes at the time. And he most likely added something to make it stickier, like turpentine, and he also could have added things like soot from street lamps to make it this dark black color that you see. So he would apply the ink, not exactly in this process that I'm using, a rolling pin. He would actually use the ink letters that are back here. He would take them, put the ink on them, smeared around, and then blot it onto the type. I'm using a rolling pin because Just makes a lot more sense. So here we have the paper in what is called a frisket. This is what held the paper in place and allowed us to print in the exact same spot every single time. So I lay the frisket down after the ink's been applied. I lock the frisket into place. I then slide it under the press, and then I give it a really good push because you have to apply quite a bit of force onto the lever in order to get good print. So then after that, you'll hear a nice sound here called the printer's kiss, and you have a print of 1 page of the Bible. As you can imagine, it took quite a long time still to make one complete copy of the Bible, but in the same amount of time it would take a scribe to make 1 copy of the Bible, which around 3 years, that's how long Gutenberg was printing, he was able to make roughly 180 copies. Which doesn't sound like a very big number, but like I said, in the same amount of time, a scribe could only make 1 copy of the Bible. So 180 is a pretty revolutionary number. And so that is, well, really why Gutenberg's printing press is on the Impact of the Bible floor, is because his process of creating the Bible is eventually what led to us being able to print books faster and more cost effective as well.
That was probably one of the coolest things I've seen today, and we were at the Air and Space Museum earlier. Got to see the print and press thing, and this is just a neat museum. I got my bookmark. It's got my name. I was born 1983 years, 7 months and 23 days after the birth of Jesus. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna keep moving through here, see what else we can find. See. All right, everybody, just some more interesting things here. They have some of the Bibles from some of the leaders, our presidents, past presidents. The Bush family did have their family Bible here. Donald Trump's Bible is on loan from him, and that's his personal Bible. Let's see, he was awarded this Bible after his graduation from the primary department by the Sunday Church School of the First Presbyterian Church in Jamaica, North Carolina. No, Jamaica, New York. I can't read. It was given to him on June 12th, 1955. That's pretty interesting. And here's a New Testament YMCA American Navy edition up there. This was President Grover Cleveland's Bible. I'll let you answer this. Is the Bible and science mutually exclusive? There is broad agreement today among historians that modern science owes a great deal to the biblical worldview. The idea that the natural world is orderly springs from the Bible, as the biochemist and Nobel laureate Melvin Calvin said. The conviction that the universe is governed by a single God seems to be the historical foundation for modern science. That is true. Something very interesting. You may not be able to read it as good as I can read it to you, but it says the Bible in the Civil War. During the war, people turned to the Bible to understand the hardships they and their loved ones faced. Soldiers and folks at home read it for solace. Ministers preached its lessons of faith and perseverance. President Lincoln, even though he did not belong to a church, often quoted the Bible and used its language to express the Union's moral reasons for fighting the war. In his second inaugural address, for example, he spoke of slavery as an offense and quoted Matthew 18:7, "Woe unto the world because of his offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense cometh." Very, very cool. And y'all know me, I'm a relic man. Those are some cool relics right there. The Battle Hymn of the Republic, written in the first year of the Civil War. I didn't know that. The hymn alludes of biblical themes of justice, sacrifice, and redemption. Julia Ward Howe, its author and a Unitarian, portrays in 6 stanzas a vision of Judgment Day when the virtuous are separated from the wicked. Her lyrics draw on imagery in Isaiah 63 and Revelation 19. The battle hymn became the anthem of the Union soldiers fighting to make men free. Now, this right here is... there's nothing more true than this right here. Perhaps no other book in history has had a greater impact than the Bible. Well, that's true. Alright, we're going to move up to the next floor. We're on floor 2. We got 6 total. This place closes in an hour. This is neat. Jesus went through cities and villages proclaiming the good news of the kingdom of God. Yes, he did. Oh, there's Jacob. He's all up in here. This is neat, guys. Wow, this is awesome.
Lord, open to us. But he replied, truly I tell you, I do not know you. Keep awake, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour.
This is really cool. The Bible talks about how they treaded out the grapes. They actually stomped on them to tread them out. Treading. They literally tread on them. This is so neat. Wow. Put a lot of time into this and money and love it. This is so cool, y'all.
This is really cool.
It is neat. Everybody, I even like the elevators. Look at this. They've got like TVs in the elevators, and it's moving screens. So they got a lot of relics in here. A lot of this has got text on it, how they wrote down a language back in the day. Of course, it was on a stone, and then as it moved, you know, I'll show you what was interesting to me. Nebuchadnezzar barrel cylinder right here says that Nebuchadnezzar was well known as a builder and engaged in a number of construction projects in the capital of his empire. Of course, it was Babylon. This clay cylinder contains 60 lines of cuneiform text in which he boasts of expanding a wall around the city. That right there is very cool. And here's another one here. He undertook major building projects in cities throughout his empire. This inscription commemorates the reconstruction of a temple to the sun god in the city of Sippar. That's so neat. This cylinder was excavated in 1879 by Mr. Rossum. Most fragments are now in the British Museum. One piece is now part of the Yale Babylonian collection. This was the when Cyrus told Nehemiah to go back to, or basically authorized him to go back to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple and rebuild the walls. Man, that's so cool. All these old relics, I love them. There's an old coin. Y'all, this is really cool. This is, I'm getting ready to show you, is the complete copy, written copy of the book of Isaiah. And it's the first 4 scrolls discovered by Mr. Bedouin. Is the only completed preserved scroll found in the Judean desert. Is that not cool? That is so awesome. When I was in Bible school, I took Bible school classes on the history and preservation of the Bible. And they talked about Papyrus Codex right there. Well, this right here is Papyrus Codex, and that is Psalms 109:16 through 112:11. Pretty awesome. So we're getting to the section in this museum of the translating of the Bible, and as it began to be translated in other languages. And my favorite one's coming up. You got the revolutionary words, and then you also have the King James Bible section, and that's what I'm interested in. I love how they have the interactive videos in here. But they got Erasmus, kind of a timeline, chronological timeline there. And then, you know, they got the relics and the actual Bibles. This was his New Testament in Greek and Latin. Man, that's neat. Here we go. Official translation. The new king makes his mark. This here is the Wicked Bible. This is they were translating the King James, and then they were printing it, and they messed the type up, and they typed it in as "Thou shalt commit adultery." They called it the Wicked Bible. I've heard of these when I took that class, but I've never seen them in person. But here's another copy also of a different Bible, a different one when they printed this one here, and this one says the Killer Bible, because in Mark 7:27, instead of field, it says let the children first be killed. So yeah, that's interesting. Mark 7:27. I don't know if you better read it or not. 7:27. But Jesus said let the, right there it is. You probably can't see it in this video. Let the children be killed. I don't really have time to look at all of it, but these are all scrolls, and down here it tells what they are. Just real quick, I'll kind of show you. North Africa, something 1800s. Poland, natural parchment. Poland, natural parchment. Poland, Turkey. Man, that's cool. But yeah, that's scrolls. Very cool. Yo, that was a lot of fun. We did that in 2 hours. And we still didn't get to see all the exhibits. We took some pictures and everything, so that way we can show you guys that you can enjoy them. But if you have the time, if you have the opportunity to come to Washington, D.C., I recommend the Museum of the Bible. It's really, really cool. But I think my favorite part was the King James section. My second favorite would be that interactive, that Nazareth, the town of Nazareth. Walk through there, and it actually looked like an old town from the Middle East. Nazareth, of course. What was your favorite part?
The town thingy.
Was it? All right. Yeah, it was really cool. But we're going to try to make our way down to the Washington Monument. Take a look at that. We're going to slowly make our way to our car. It's 5:06 now, so it's people getting off work and all that. So the traffic, the highway, the interstate will be busy. So we're kind of wanting to wait a little longer, let some of this traffic thin out, going out of the city. All right, so we're back at the National Mall here. And I know it's a long way out there for you guys. There's the Capitol building. We're actually going to tour that on Friday. Today's Monday, so we got a few days. We'll get closer on Friday and go tour that thing. But anyway, we are going to go see the Washington Monument down there. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as we get closer to it. All right, they're doing turf rehabilitation right here, so they got this panel of grass area closed. I think that's as close as we're going to get to it right now, y'all. That's pretty cool. All right, everybody. Dude, they're doing renovations on everything around here, like the Capitol building's being renovated. The U.S. Treasury building's being renovated. The Air and Space Museum was being renovated. I mean, it's like everything's being renovated right now. I spent a lot of money. Anyway, so we're not going to get to see all of the buildings without construction, and all of this is being closed. But the White House is right down here, so we got to see it. Got to take a look at it. But anyway, can you see all this green right here? They're doing construction back there. It's crazy. There's a whole bunch of people down here. I'm gonna turn the camera around, let you see all these people. They looking for something. Here's the White House right here. A bunch of black SUVs come out, and then the police got in front and behind them. There's blue lights and everything. I believe that was the president. That's pretty cool. Of course, we didn't get to see him, but it's all right.
They might
might do that from down here.
Here's the
too.
president right down, or here's the White House right down here. It's closed off because he was coming out of there. All right, so here's the White House, y'all.
High school, what is $1? High school, what is $1?
That's pretty cool, y'all.
What is $1? What is $1?
That is so neat. There's the White House.
What is $1?
The White House is right there behind George Washington's figure right there. But there's a guy down here playing the buckets.
Stay in school, man. You
That's
can't
pretty
back
cool.
to
That's pretty cool, man. He's getting at it with them buckets. He's playing them buckets, ain't he? Well, guys, we really appreciate you watching the video. We had a great day at Washington, D.C. And we did another day later in the week. And we've got more videos coming out from our Maryland trip. So we hope you watch the videos as they come out. And if you haven't seen the ones previous, just click back in the channel there and look at them. And we appreciate if you'd subscribe as well. We put out our videos from our vacations, and we'll continue to do so. But hope you have a good day. God bless. We'll see you on the next adventure.